Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the finest Dawn of War Ultimate Apocalypse casts this side of East Yorkshire. And today we've got a 3 versus 3 on Fury Island. Playing on Team 1 as the Necrons, we've got Tolstochok, we have got Black Knight 40 playing as the Tyranids, and we've got the Blast Furnace playing as the Orks. And on Team 2, playing as the Imperial Guard, we've got Tiger Shark, we've got Not Stranger playing as the Tyranids, and we've got Eshan playing as the Necrons. It's Fury Island, lots of contested points in the middle to take on. In fact, actually, I think it's a whole blooming line right across the map, so plenty of things to scrap over. Also got 2 relics as well, which are always extremely important for the late game when the relic units come online. And yeah, we've got Imperial Guard versus Orks on the right-hand side. I think the Imperial Guard will have a much easier time holding off their own, especially if they could build up a field command somewhere in this region. After all, it has got a heavily fortified structure armor type. And the Orks don't really have anything until the middle of Tier 2, when they are able to get their tank busters on the go. All the war trucks and war tracks, all that usual good stuff. Whereas down on this side, Necrons versus Necrons, it's going to be quite a slow lumbering fight for them, I think. Oh, what was it? The player test patch thingy that we saw a little while ago when it was just flayed ones versus warriors, and that fight went on for a million bajillion years. So, yep. But we do also have the Tyranids in the middle that can support either the right or the left-hand side, or just go for a big scrap in the centre. And Tyranids, yep, okay, right, so we've got Tyranids playing in a supporting kind of role for both sides here. So, very exciting stuff. Spinegots coming straight away for the middle bits. Also seeing a sneaky Lictor from Black Knight. Oh my goodness, he's like Batman. He comes for the night, comes for the shadows to slap people down. No questions asked. Also give him the uppercut as well, just because why not? A couple of attacks, takes on the Spinegaunt. And the Orks have really quickly made sure that they've gone down here before the Imperial Guard even have a chance to snag anything. Tactical control and a infantry command, going straight for a field command lieutenant and a Imperial Guardsman squad. And yeah, no conscripts for these guys, I don't think, which would explain why they're a little... Oh, they've got one conscript squad just for the capping purposes, but mainly just to get those guys out and about. Do have triple ghost turrets been placed down by Tolstochok. I hope I pronounced that right. Tolstochok. No, that is definitely not how you pronounce it. Tolstochok. I'm not going to bleep that. I'm a grown man. And you know what? Silly words are funny. Oh, I've gone all red in the cheeks now. Speaking of red in the cheeks, here come the shooter boys. Well, green in the cheeks, more or less. They're going to be firing at these Spinegaunts. Listing post being placed down by the Blast Furnace. Also seeing some mech traps from him as well to keep that listing post all safe and sound. Imperial Guards are going to come over to provide some firing support for the Spinegaunts, going up against the shooter boys. Big mech and some sluggers, as well as a Lictor carrying in on over the assault. The shooter boys will hide inside the listing post for now. And they said that I'm quite amazed by the sheer amount of ghost turrets. I like it though. Eshan thought, right, okay, I'll go for 1, and that'll show you good and proper. And then Tolstochok has been like, no, we're going to go for 3. And that, 3 is more than 1, as they say. Oh, there's 2 now. Okay, well, 2 versus 3. In a pure number games, the Southern Necrons will get it. Plenty of Tyranids from the northern side. We now also have a Victory Broodlord for Black Knight, trying to get in there. Field Command Lieutenant a little bit alone in the world. Doesn't want to really tussle with anyone. Riding solo. Best probably stick him in a squad of guardsmen at this point, just because of the sheer amount of infantry on the field at the moment. You have the Bioplasma turret from Not Stranger, throwing in a whole bunch of bad stuff towards the Slugger boys. And with them being so massed up and bunched up, they'll be taking a lot of AoE damage in comparison to how they would normally. Sorry, Broodlord just still... Oh, you're going to go toe-to-toe with the Field Lieutenant? Oh, right, no, you bashed him the other way. Go on, get him! Swash over the old chain sword. Or running away. Or is that a commander duel? Don't see them often enough. But plenty of Spinegaunts. Strangers thought, right, well, I'm not going to spend any money in tier 0/1/2 or whatever. I'm just providing the meat. The Imperial Guard will provide the damage with their grenade launchers and all that stuff, but so many Orks on at the moment. Quite hard to keep their numbers down, but they're doing it. They're giving it a jolly good go. Got plenty of shooter boys, which realistically we could see these Spinegaunts engaging close combat just to tie these guys up. It might be the way forward for them. They're going to go for the critical location in the centre as well. down over in the Necron side of things. Yep, it's just Wraiths, Necron warriors. Like I said, it's going to be a slow slog for both sides. Also, phase shift been placed in there as well from the Necron Lord of Eshan. So no one's killing those Necron warriors for a little while before then getting a good old slap down. In the centre, the Orks continue their reign of terror. But I mean, just this poor mech boy surrounded by a whole smorgasbord of spine gaunts. He does manage to take down the bioplasma turret. And he won't be taking too much damage from all these spine gaunts, but I don't think he's got the DPS required to break them down to any sizable chunk. Also, I'm not strange yet with the magma vent on this side. A Hive Tyrant or Black Knight seems to be going for a lot of these singular big Tyranid units, which, come what may, questionable. Depending on, I mean, I suppose like if you're not planning to take up, but the other teammates on your team are taking up, and you're just going to spend it on a lot of your bigger, badder units. That's not the worst thing ever. Some gargoyles flying in on the air. And they do a little bit of damage. I mean, that'll certainly keep them safe from the Victoria Broodlord. He can't really do anything against them. And being quickly brought down to heal. Need to move near those Orc shooter boys. Don't want to do anything against them. Heavy weapons teams firing into the Orcs, but they are just point blank refusing to die. En masse at the very least. Stick bomb thrown in by the shooter boys. The gargoyles now make their way on over to provide some fire support. The Victoria Broodlord has almost gone down, but not quite. Which will hide once again inside the listening post. Just a slugger boys there. For them popping out again. That's a lot of gargoyles. And they don't shy away from a ranged engagement. And you teleported back. How? How did you do that? Did the big mech attach to him, and then as the teleporting animation went, he then deattached to himself? Maybe. Maybe. Not quite sure how that works. Gargoyles now moving down to the bottom side, where the black and green Necrons against the regular old metal Necrons still going strong. Did see that one of the ghost turrets were killed earlier on, but they've rebuilt it. Necrons attempting to teleport away, but not too far. That allows the gargoyles to shoot at everyone and anyone. One ghost turret has been kaput. Well, that's quite the fleet of wraiths from Tolstoy. I'm just going to call him Tolstoy. Sod it. Not making that mistake again. A really hard word to read, or hard name to read even. Listening post slowly clinging on to life here. One advantage of a big mech though is that it can repair things on the fly, as his namesake allows him to. Don't really often see the repairing mechanic on that big mech being taken advantage of. Got infiltrated wraiths here. And the gargoyles blotting the sky out black with their sheer amount of numbers. Focusing down the builder scarabs. Prevent them from rebuilding and repairing. This post has been lost but will be rebuilt. And a Chimera assault tank on the move here. Yeah, we're seeing that the Tyranids for Team 2 are definitely making their impact felt, but not feeling the same kind of level of impact from the Tyranids on Team 1. Definitely need to start moving and shaking these guys around. You do have the units. Two more or less fully fledged squads of warriors. Also brought forth a squad of rippers to build up a spore chimney. Spine gaunts as well to decap and recap that critical location in the centre. Orks now being pushed back by the weight of the Imperial Guard. Still yet to really put any pressure on the Ork economy on this side. John Cena being thrown down by the Necron Lord. I assume that's where you are. Yep, you were down there. Which I mean the Necrons of the southern variety don't have any ranged stuff to do with, so I suppose it lets them see the infiltrated wraiths here. Can't do much. They're not tall enough. Need a very large mosquito swatter. And the way that the Black Knight is going to respond to this is by just assaulting the Tyranid base. Hopefully inspiring the gargoyles to move away from the Necron side of things. Got plenty of warriors. You can break down the assault tank, no problems whatsoever, while then turning their attention to this stuff. Some spore mines sent in. Explosive reactions. Toy Broodlord back to full health here. Not sure if he was just regened or they just got a brand new spanking one. Got plenty of destroyers now for Ishan. He's still going for the venom cannons, which should help him break down these destroyers quite nicely. Imperial Guardsmen, a bit lost of words here. Don't know which way that they want to go. Been cut down by fire all the same. And the gargoyles, I assume you've gone back up. Yep, you've gone back up. So it worked in the end. I mean, the Hive Tyrant's dead. The rest of the warriors are dead. You've at least got them away from your Necron ally for a little bit. He's got plenty of Wraiths. And a Lictor Alpha, bigger, badder. Come straight on in. Got people flying around. Ah, it's the gargoyles coming over to Orktown. Just to say hello, how are you doing?
Setting up.
The Orks are forced to respond, leaving the Necrons and the Tyranids to hold the centre. Could press down a little bit more if they wanted to, but they're just going to hang out for a bit. Tomb Spider down here collecting all the dead and dying. For recycling purposes. Orks with their numbers managing to rescue their listening posts from the gargoyle assault. Gargoyles don't do amazing damage against buildings, to be fair. They've at least brought the Orks down on that side. Now he's going to fly on over to the left-hand side of the centre engagement. Lictor Alpha keen to get involved with the destroyers. Be careful with your positioning with the destroyers, as they can be tied up in close combat, unlike other vehicles. Hellfex, Carnifex, and where is that weapon going? It's the big... that's where it came from. You are the bioplasma turret. Seems like you can fire out the range units, or the aircraft units even. Well, they're not aircraft, are they? They're just infantry that fly. And Ishan still collecting a lot of stuff. Can you actually collect the enemy Necron corpses? There's no corpses down here. But I suppose Tolstoy here doesn't really have any Necron warriors to speak of. It's all Wraiths for now. And just a sheer amount of action going on at the moment. Tyranids charging on over. Scream the Killer, attempting to break the morale of the Spine Gaunts, but no morale to speak of in their name. In Ultimate Apocalypse, I do believe that the Synapse creatures, they don't necessarily break and lose morale and stuff. They do gain bonuses if they are within Synapse of Synapse creatures. Warriors now making a move on this southern side, but they do not have any anti-vehicle stuff, which is primarily what their problems are over here. Isha now going to be responding with his own Necron warriors. As the battle continues, the Orks now also pressing over onto the Imperial Guard side of things. I've not really built up all that much yet. They've got the infantry command, which is being repaired, quickly broken down by the sheer mass of big shooters. Also got a fully fledged squad of tank busters of their own. Attempting to build up a turret emplacement. Being on the Imperial Guard, have been focusing on trying to get as much economy as possible and tech up where they can. Hive Tyrant going toe-to-toe with the Lictor Alpha. The Orks continue their reign of terror. We also have the Necrons on the southern side pushing in. I do apologise for this frame rate. I'm trying to catch all the action as humanly possible. Tomb Spider on the front lines, absorbing a lot of that damage. Wraith still continuing to harass and harry those destroyers. A combination of Immortals to break down the buildings as well. Necrons seem to be holding just about right. Imperial Guard really struggling against this massive Orks. Tyranids with a whole smorgasbord of Spine Gaunts, keeping back the War Trucks and War Tracks. Or just War Tracks, I suppose. Well, there's a War Truck over here. They fall back in anticipation for the Tyranids coming on over. Plenty of green nonsense all about the place. As the Hellfex Carnifex, I assume you're firing upwards. Take on the gargoyles. There'll be a lack of firing animation there. Potentially be. Got a limited amount of Necrons left over, but they've now got some Immortals which are being bashed in the head by the Necron Lord. Go down under concentrated fire. And the warriors lacking the ability to stand up against such an assault. Imperial Guard being an absolute nuisance, just hiding inside their field commands. Now, have you got a full complement of lads inside theirs? Yeah, you've got fair few boys able to fire out. I assume you're all conscripts in there, which makes sense. Got some attack scarabs, which do quite a lot of damage against buildings and vehicles. Being slowed down by the chrono trigger of the Necron Lord. Also using that resurrection orb, very nice to see. But not very many of his own people to bring back from the dead. He's got a bit of green around this area. As Spine Gaunts without number, brought forth by the Black Knight, is a global ability where you can just summon blooming Tyranids, anyone on the battlefield that you fancy. Oh dear, we've got an Annihilation Barge as well. More Tyranids come forth. Just need to, I don't know, give time for the Imperial Guard or something to, not Imperial Guard, the Orks to react. So a couple of Biovors, ideal for breaking apart large amounts of infantry, especially when they're all clustered together like so. Necromorleth now taking a few licks himself. Just constantly getting those attack scarabs as far as they can. Now also have the Orks inside of the Tyranids base. So a few base trades on the go. If the Orks doing the lion's share of it, the Imperial Guard, as we've seen many times before on the channel, they're able to harness out their buildings and just provide just so much firepower. Even if none of this is specifically anti-vehicle, just the sheer weight of las guns and plasma guns and stuff is more than enough to take on a fair few things. Orks look like they're now trying to retreat away from this fully upgraded Hive Tyrant. Scything Talons and Flying Wings. Biovors making slow but sure work against the Necrons. Broodlord there being annihilated as some Hormagaunts skip on over. But yeah, probably a good idea just to leave them be for now. He's just going to go for pure chaff here. See if he can keep these guys occupied while the Necromorleth's still being repaired by the build scums down here. Avoiding a lot of that incoming damage. Definitely need to be focused fire. But not giving him the old perk. The old perk and prod. No matter where you go on the northern side, there's just Orks everywhere. That's one advantage about the Orks. You can make their presence felt across the map with relatively small amounts of economic investment. Orks do function a lot more like a horde faction in Ultimate Apocalypse than any other version of the game, I would say. Especially now that infantry doesn't die more or less straight away when you hit, when your opponent hits tier 2s and 3s and stuff. These gargoyles though, they've been alive for so long, providing so much value. And what do they reinforce as? Ooh, actually, I do apologise. A little bit of a yawn. I've been casting for about 3 or 4 hours now. It's the last one of the day. And I, as the French say, I'm a bit nicky-nacky nude. What was I saying? Oh yeah, the gargoyles, quite expensive. That's alright, they don't seem to be dying all that much. No, I was a bit confused as to what to do with life. So I'm just going to bash whatever they fancy in the moment. Let the attack move aside, really. And then the hard boys, a little bit more durable. They are heavy infantry. It's like in the Venn diagram of sluggers and knobs, the hard boys are in the middle of them. Yeah, just, you'd expect the Imperial Guard to be dead, but no, they're just not dying. Same with the Necrons down here, actually. I thought that they would be killed a lot sooner, but no, they are just keeping on, keeping on. Got Rippers gnashing at their hinds here. Biovors have been taken care of. The Annihilation Barge continues to fire. Got some more over here though, doing what they can. The Ork attack seems to be petering out now. But they did manage to get a whole bunch of well, when I say a whole bunch, 2 decaps here, which is something the magma vent is still online from the real problem. Plenty of Orks down here, potentially maybe getting the kill on the Hive Tyrant. Bit of a animation bug that was meant to be a sync kill, I assume. But down into the debt he goes. As these bioplasma turrets continue to fire on in. We now also have some gargoyles over on this side being pestering the biovores somewhat fiercely. And there's the shooter boys. That's what you want. That'll kill the gargoyles, no problem. Watch their numbers drop remarkably quickly. But they've done their purpose. They've certainly paid for themselves in spades. Necrons relatively low on plasma generators and amplification generators. But the Necron monolith still fighting fit and strong. Black Knight has got his gene sealers in there. The Cybering Talons to rip apart heavy armour and such, but I think the destroyers can resist them a little bit better than regular infantry. Oh god, pray mate, be gentle. Should have really put you on a lower graphical fidelity, but I just couldn't help myself. War being activated among the Orks, increasing the movement speed quite dramatically, allowing repositions. Tank busters teleported around the backside. And also a big zap from the big mech, freezing all these heavy destroyers in place. Just surprising how long that the Necrons of Tolstoy has managed to survive. You see there's having a good go at it. Second Annihilation Barge online for Eshan. Just a constant influx of vehicles from the Necrons here. Now seeing a counter-offensive. Some forward bioplasma turrets been placed down as the Spine Gaunts attempts to eat this listening person alive. Some Mega Armor knobs which are activating their Go Faster juice at the cost of a little bit of damage over time. Even with their Mighty Power Claws and their custom Daka bits, still too many Spine Gaunts for them to take on. AoE damage, that's what he wants against chaff units. And they're just going to completely ignore everything. Double zap. Going over to the Necron side of things. Maybe preventing them from reinforcing themselves. Gene Sealers are now lacking in number. And the Nubs have got no other option but to run away back home. Got triple Screamer Killers chasing after this Hellhound. He's probably coming in to see if he can annihilate some of these reclamation pools. Secondary Necron monolith being placed over here. That makes sense. Hard behind the Tyranids. While these guys try and break down everything. Got some Spine Gaunts without number from Stranger, or not Stranger even. There's the Mega Armor knobs. I thought they were going to come all the way over here and bash Necron stuff, but that's not on the cards for them. They've turned their attention to the distant Tyranid base. Orcs still standing firm in the centre. Hellfex counter-effects is being taken down one by one by the bioplasma turrets as well as those powerful knobs. So far, with the exception of the what's going on with the Necrons down here, map control is a bit up in the air. Both teams really. Ob Squad got no problems whatsoever with taking down buildings. A couple of hits from a couple of their models. That's a reclamation pool out of action. Some electricity going on over here. What are you? You are Tolstoy's Necron Lord. So he's lost his base. Very unfortunate, but they can rebuild relatively easily. The whole fleet of Builder Scarabs as well. Builder Scarabs attempting to rebuild any of the Tyranid stuff. Counter-effects chamber soon to be broken down brick by brick. Well, I suppose Tyranids don't really use bricks today. Slab by slab. And sent firmly back into Tier 1. No questions asked. Ishan with the superior engagements there. But I suppose maybe building up 3 Gauss turrets. Well, it might sound like a good idea. Probably better just to invest it in some actual units that can adapt, change, and also retreat when needed. First, I was about to say that's a zone throw. No, that's a near and throw. Attach him to a squad of those other Tyranids. Reduces the amount of range damage incoming for them. Right, last time I checked it was like 50% or something, but I could be wrong. It was 25%, but they've changed it for the last or most recent patch. Plenty of Screamer Killers knocking around for Black Knight, but he's not wanting to engage at the moment. No point in throwing away your squads willy-nilly. There's a Kill Crusher. Really powerful tank for the Orks. Also now got loads of Spine Gaunts without number to keep the Necrons in place. And is that a... Oh no, that's a Solar Pulse from Ishan there, I think. Could be wrong, hold on, let me swap over to Necrons on this side. Yeah, it could have been you. Could have been Tolstoy's Necron Lord there. Orc support inbound. As these destroyers attempt to escape. Avoid the clutches of death. Kill Crusher, give us a big boom. You know you want to. Slightly out of range then. That's a shame. Expecting to see the infantry formation explode. Well, teleport back home. They've done their job. And, well, I suppose you may as well go home when there's a million counterfeits. Oh, well, you've lost your base. Dear, dear. Does that mean you rebuilt it somewhere else? Let's find out together. You rebuilt your stuff? Yep, you rebuilt it over here, and you was actually... Yeah, okay, fair enough. Also trying to get a Greater Summoning Court as well online. So both Necrons losing their bases. Very unfortunate. But it does put both teams on an even keel again. Won't have to see the Southern team playing too much catch-up. Just a sheer amount of Orks. Terrifying sight to behold from the perspective of an opponent. We do also have plenty of Gene Stealers ready to come round the flanks. Got a second Kill Crusher on the go for him. Big Mech zapping the Demon Rust battle tank. I can't believe that was a Big Mech. Well, there's two of them. Quite a consistent amount of firepower coming online. We're going to go for free. Right, well, that'll do it, won't it? Gene now infiltrated. We'll be able to avoid a lot of that incoming artillery fire. I have Tyrant thinking better of engaging a lot of knobs in close combat. Let's have a little size shield that reduces the amount of incoming range damage for him. Much like the Neuron Throw. On their own, against a sizable, massive Daka. Ain't going nowhere, sunshine. Got plenty of Gene Stealers skulking in the shadows. And you guys have got your upgrades where you're now good against buildings and vehicles as well, so it might be an idea just to turn them on to the Kill Crushers. We've got two squads peeling off, while then sinking their fangs and hands into the flanks of that tank. We've got plenty of Tyranids going up against Ishan's Necrons. Spine Gaunts Akimbo also got a couple of Tyranid warriors there as well. The Necrons have had their health increased by quite a dramatic amount. It will take a lot more to break them down. Necrons for Tolstoy just chilling out for the moment. Kill Crushers not quite able to take on all those Gene Stealers. Are being shot at by all the Orc buildings. But it seems like they've got some sort of go fast juice or some fighting juice equivalent. The war for the Orcs cries out as they get into position. Look at that movement speed. Teleporting in. Oh, can the Big Mech just teleport multiple units? Is that what happens? Alright, fair enough. Should be an upgrade that you can get. Tyranids now given a taste of medicine, of their own medicine to the Orcs. It's had their base long enough, and the Mega Armor Knobs still parceling out justice. One Power Claw at a time. Imperial Guard attempting to break down those Orcs on the left-hand contest. Well, I suppose it's not a contested point because it's in between two allies. There's something. Spine Gaunts still alive, and the destroyers can't really do anything about it. They're just going to have to see if they can bonk them down gradually over time. If the what do you attack them with? Oh, just your hand. And then a little bit of close combat shooting, just for good measure. Well, the Orcs now really been sent back in the tech tree. The Warband has been focused down quite handily by those Gene Stealers. Mega Armor Knobs are over on this side. Still over here? No, these are just regular knobs. Managed to purge the Orc infestation around the Tyranid base. Can the Orks now do the same for them? Building up lots of, what are you, plasma generators on this side. Mega Armor Knobs, seeing what they can do. We've got the War Boss in here as well. Planting him in the sand before spanking his backside and then giving him the old pimp hand. Send him on his way. Stranger just confirming. I may have reset blast to like tier 2. Every banner has got that he could find. So he came in with a very specific task in mind. Isha now falling back as explosions happen. Where do these explosions come from? No one really knows. No one could possibly tell. Imperial Guards there. Plasma guns. Attempting to sort out the warriors. Warriors been brought in once again by some more Tyranid global nonsense. They are killed there. But then the ones that didn't engage can now just be a little bit more aggressive and see if they can poke and prod anything else. May as well take out the spore chimneys while you're here. Not the worst target, but ideally you probably don't want your Tyranid warriors on their own. That is just a waste of resources. Jumping into melee combat. Not for very long. And they are deaded. The Necron Lord for Ishan just lying down here. Also the Tomb Spiders as well. And the Necron Warriors getting their economy back online. A couple of zone threats. Keeping the Orks backwards. Wonder if we'll see a large amount of zone threats in this game. All things considered, everything's going alright for both teams at the moment. Both teams have had to reposition their Necron player. Imperial Guard have been on the back foot for the vast majority of this game, which is why I probably haven't seen that many bits and bobs from them. I mean, maybe some transports for the Imperial Guardsmen might be quite useful. Just so when they need to run away they can. A lot more efficiency. I suppose going up against Horde factions like the Orks and the Tyranids, quite hard to retreat from battle if you're surrounded. At least for vehicles anyway. I think infantry have got a much better time of it. The Pathing of Dawn of War makes any kind of vehicle movement a little bit clunky and a bit chunky. Quadruple Carnifex is none of your Screamer Killer nonsense, but a proper pedigree of Xenos there for you. Knobs running as best they can. We've got a Benny Hill kind of thing going on for the big mech. Ork Knob, Ork leader, just chin right up in the air. God, that's a sight to behold. Definitely training those neck muscles by the looks of things. Knobs now charging straight on into the Imperial Guard formation. So much armor and health do the Mega Armor Knobs. It's just going pure Mega Armor, this kid. He doesn't want any of your paltry soft lads. No, he wants the hardest knobs he can possibly get. Pardon the phrasing, that was not intentional. Gene Stealers are not stranger now, slinking on into the base of the Tyranids. They have seen the spore chimneys, and that's what they want to go for. Orks now pushing people back on. I do believe this is almost free. Red Tyranids there focusing on the Necron side of things, and the Orks are trying to finally answer the Imperial Guard question, but they've got las cannons, they've got their buildings. No one shall pass through them, not today. Gene Stealers, they've now spotted where Tolstoy is living. And after a little bit of a think, you know what I mean, you've always got to have a bit of a think in these situations, don't you? Yeah, after that contemplation, they'll go for those plasma generators, no doubt. Yeah, that's what we're going to do. As the Orks and the Red Tyranids hold that central line. Definitely need the Necrons to come about and do something from the perspective of Tolstoy. He seems to just be upgrading. But what is your army cap at the moment? You have got no army. Right, okay. You've also got no money, which is not great neither. You've saved it all up for Annihilation Barge. It's questionable, but okay, I mean, the Gene Stealers won't be killing that too quickly. The Annihilation Barge also won't really sort out those Gene Stealers in any good length of time. Mega armors. No one's stopping their thunderous assault. They're now feeling confident enough to be able to start opening up the buildings of the Imperial Guard. Sound effects by Not Stranger, moseying on down, just approving and appraising what he can have for dinner. I love the kill animations for War Boss. He's dead, but we're going to make him super dead anyway, because that's just what Orks do. No point in killing something if it's not dead. We've got plenty of Tyranids in the centre. Oob effects, supersized. Well, card effects really, as is stated by the things in the barracks in the name. Yeah, that is a substantial amount of health. It'll be very difficult for them to answer to that. And every time Blast Furnace pushes in, it looks like as if he's making really good progress. And to be fair, he is. He's taken down an infantry command and a mechanized command, which will not only reduce the defensive level of the Imperial Guard situation, but also force them from building, well, stop them, should I say, from building up any more vehicles for the moment. Unless you're building it anywhere else, let's have a ganders at your place. Yeah, you build some stuff over yonder. Tactical control and another field command. So maybe it's just a case of survive for as long as you can, then hide inside of Stranger's base and hope that he wins the game for you. Warriors and the Uber effects doing what they can. We've also got a pillory tower, so maybe we will see some Tyranid nukes going off in the near future. So many Tyranid warriors, so many gene stealers, red versus green, like a Christmas colour scene, or scheme even. Yeah, these card effects just... Alright, you're not firing at the card effects, you are firing at the knobs, which did die. Okay. They're still running amok. No one can stop them. It's not with any good length of time. Almost like the equivalent of Space Marine Terminators if they, you know, have less maneuverability without their teleport and stuff. Hellish Barge falling back away from the Tyranid warriors. I've seen the Hive Turret now inside the Ork base. Riding solo, but I assume you've got your whip and... Yeah, you've got your whip and sword. Imperial Guard now chasing away the remnants of the Mega Armor Knobs as the push from the Necrons continues unabated. Very few red Tyranids left, and they are making their slow way on over to this side. Doesn't seem that the things we saw earlier killed too many of Tolstoy's plasma generators. It's always good from the perspective of the Necrons. You don't want to lose any of your plasma generators at any stage of the game, really. Certainly not in the opening 10-15 minutes. The knobs are back. And there seems to be more than ever. Attempting to play a bit of a defensive game here is a Necron player. Hasn't been able to commit that much to the battlefield so far. But if he can get his economy back on the go, get some more units tanked up as well, I'll do him a lot of favours. Being Sealers from the Black Knight been sold up the river by the looks of things. It's not an engagement you can win, Black Knight. But I suppose you've got to appreciate the effort. So plenty of gargoyles. I think maybe the ship has sailed on those guys. No, they've all been stunned by the looks of things. Necron Lord swoops on in. Get a flanking attack on the... Oh, who's Necron Lord? Yeah, Nishan. So, get a flanking attack on the Hive Tyrant from Black Knight 40. Sound effects from Stranger leading that way into the Red Tyranid's base. So many Gene Stealers. We've got 100%, well, 100 plus health, so they've definitely been eating good. Souped up health, I imagine they've also gone for all the upgrades as well. as they have become infiltrated. And they do quite a remarkable bit of damage in close combat now. So many of them, just swarm on swarm. And the Orks have decided to come back on over. They've had a supported cannon roll. Neuron throw. Big nerd alien. Been punched down. As is the only way to deal with those kinds of people. Gargoyles attempting to shoot down the Gene Seals. Gene Seals cannot respond to those gargoyles. So they're just going to politely ignore them as best they can. We also have some Gene Sealers tunneling through the ground. Keen on destroying as many of these reclamation pools as possible. I got some spine gaunts from Not Stranger. And just everywhere you look, it's just Tyranid Central. Lots of boombastics and blasts. Yeah, I don't think Annihilation Barges were the answer here. Some flayed ones would have been nice for the close combats against the Gene Stealers, although I suppose they don't really break morale, so maybe that wouldn't have been the idea. But he's got two of them fighting back to back. We've also got some Gene Stealers and some Spine Gaunts. Oh no, you're not straight. Right, these are just reinforcing ones. Tell you what, this whole mirror kind of thing going on is really boggling my noggin. And it's just throwing everything you can at everything you can. Just seeing what will hold. And the Southern team seems to be holding on pretty well, all things considered. Then saying that heavy destroyers are coming on over. Where are the Orks in this situation? They are being nuisances around the back lines of everyone. Could certainly do with some shooter boys in support. Or anything else, really. As the gargoyles are being a bit of a pain. Oh, generator. Slowly being whittled down, but the Gene Stealers have been taken care of. Now a green kind of effect has been taken hold. And all the super mega knobs are down. And I don't know, maybe a bit of a premature surrender, but I mean, Gene Stealers taking care of the rest of what's his face? Tolstoy's base. Only a few knobs left over. And going up against the Imperial Guard being supported by destroyers and the Annihilation Barge. And then just the Tyranids losing a lot of their stuff throughout this protracted engagement. All Gene Stealers. Maybe, yeah, don't think they would have been able to do much. But, you know, it's always nice to see a last stand. But we're not getting that today, boys and girls. We're not getting that today at all. But yeah, lots of back and forth. It was just a case of, I think, maybe losing the positioning of this Necro player a little bit earlier than everyone else. The Imperial Guard, although they were kind of out of that fight for a lot of it, just being more or less just being a solid wall for the Orks to bash their heads against over and over again, and just not moving. If the Orks were able to break through these guys a lot sooner, that would have been more economy for them and more opportunities to push into the Tyranid, and especially when these Necrons started falling back and they had to rebuild here. If the Imperial Guard were forced to move back as well, then that would have been another base that they could just attack from the get-go. So there we are. So yeah, so cheers boys and girls for sending this game into the Discord. And if you want to support the channel, have a look at the old Patreon. £1 a month gets you once a game a week. And there is also Discord, where Discord things happen. Links in the description as always. As for Mr. Landshark, pleasure's always never short. And I will see you in a bit. Peace.